This Dutch kickboxer and this 420-pound sumo wrestler
Dutch
are about to fight.
kickboxer.
There are no rules, no judges' scores, and no time limits.
It will last 26 seconds.
My blood is the first blood, you know.
Whoa! Gerard just got him with a real good roundhouse kick to the face.
I went home with one less tooth.
Okay, this is brutal. And it gets worse. Just a few minutes later, this guy got his head stomped until he couldn't fight anymore.
The stomping, and bam! I think right about now the towel comes in, yes.
This is a vicious, vicious tournament. Only one man is going to win. And spoiler alert, it's not going to be the jacked Greek god we'll see later. No, the
Jacked
winner
Greek god
is actually walking to the cage right now in his pajamas?
Royce Gracie, who is the world champion jiu-jitsu player, he is the lightest combatant of everybody. I think he weighs 176.
No rules, guy's bigger than him, and he's wearing his gi.
Everyone else looks like big old street thugs.
Every man was a champion on their own style. Style against his style. The winner moves on.
Oh, it's
the loser goes
crazy.
home.
What made you decide to fight with the gi on?
It's a trap. Human instinct, grab on. If I have nothing to grab, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna punch you. So go ahead, get a hold of me. At least you're not hitting me.
Art Jemison is the number 10 ranked IBF light heavyweight in the world.
Had a 15-fight win streak, about to fight Tommy Hearn for a world title fight.
And I thought, you know what, it'd be easy pickings, you know? Because they fighting a guy with no experience in boxing. They told me I'm fighting the smallest guy in the tournament, which was true. They told me he couldn't punch or hit a lick, which was true. They didn't tell me that he was like a phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? He's a legend.
For most people, our introduction to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was you in UFC 1.
Grappling's a very, very interesting art, and I think what you're going to see tonight
UFC
is
1.
quite a few of these fights go to the ground.
The way they explained to me, Royce, is going to be you and him. Don't let him hit you ever, because if he hits you, you're going down.
He came in, had one glove, because he thought he was gonna hit me so much, he didn't want to break his hand. Okay, there's good and there's bad. Good is, he cannot grab me with that hand.
Bro, look at this. Hey, dude, with one glove, you gotta do it with a gi on. Yo, this is crazy. Y'all told me to do Royce Gracie. We are here, man. Like, comment, subscribe for more. You know what I'm saying? And tune in. I appreciate everybody who, you know what I'm saying, support my channel and everything.
But bad is, he's confident enough to hit me with that glove to knock me out. I took him down, he didn't know what to do.
I said, okay, this is something new. The glove became a problem, because I'm thinking to myself, why did I wear this glove?
That glove is really working against Art because he can't grab.
He can't grab, he can't pull him in.
He didn't know what to do on the floor. Right there was the first lesson of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. If you don't know what to do on the floor, you have no business on fighting. I didn't do anything to him. Took him down.
You got no business
There
in
was no
fighting.
submission, there was nothing, he just...
Tried my best, man. I couldn't get out. Finally got to the point where I became like a phobia, where I'm not used to this type of pressure, so I tapped out.
He just tapped out.
Just tapped out.
Did he? There was not a punch thrown.
That's right. That's
There was
exactly
not a
correct.
punch thrown.
Anybody else on the ground who doesn't know grappling is...
He didn't throw a punch on him or do nothing. He just tapped. What going on? Yo, somebody got a what?
Okay, that skinny guy just made a very good boxer quit without throwing a punch. And now he's moving on to the next leg of the tournament. He doesn't know it yet.
This is
But
crazy.
by the end of the night, he will spark a decades-long rivalry, become the target of every martial artist on the planet, and change the face of fighting forever. But first, who is he? And how did he end up in that cage?
I'm a product of my father's work. I did what I learned from him.
My father was actually the first national sport hero in Brazil.
Royce's father, Elio Gracie, was a small
Elio
man
Gracie.
who at a young age learned Japanese jiu-jitsu. But he was so frail that the techniques didn't work for him.
The fact that Elio was a small man is the reason why Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu became so effective, because Elio had to fight off of his back.
He understood that if he wanted to fight bigger and stronger opponents, he needed leverage and intelligence.
All that wasn't in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu.
My father used to say, give me the right leverage and I'll lift the world.
Elio modified Japanese jiu-jitsu techniques
Damn.
to focus less on strength and more on leverage, effectively creating a brand new martial arts style, which we now refer to as Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu. So his daddy created that. That's insane. Your family basically created a whole like style. Is insane. The type of aura, like the type of legendary status, like that's crazy.
Didn't invent jiu-jitsu, he just add leverage into the moves.
The Gracie
Innovation.
family is the most important family in the history of martial arts.
Elio was so confident in his jiu-jitsu
crazy.
that he challenged many martial
I didn't
artists
know that.
to a ton of Vale Tudo matches. Vale Tudo essentially being the precursor to MMA fights.
It doesn't matter how big, how strong the person is. Once we go to the ground, it's pretty much even out lot. Like everything else, you gotta know what you're doing. Once you know, it's easy.
As an accomplished martial artist, Elio, along with his brothers, passed along their jiu-jitsu to their many children, Royce Gracie being one of the youngest and smallest of his brothers and cousins.
Born in Rio de Janeiro in
Damn, they was
1966,
already
the
wrestling?
seventh of 9. But
That's
the youngest
crazy.
boy.
Yeah, you were really a prodigy. You started when you were 8 years old. You had your black belt by the time you were 18.
Growing up on this family, everybody fights. Everybody at one time stepped in the ring.
What'd you dream about doing as a kid?
I want to fight because I saw my older brothers, cousins, and it's like, guys, come on, give me a chance.
Royce was basically the runt of the litter and had to watch all of his brothers win tournaments all around the world and watch them continue his father's legacy in the Gracie Challenge.
The Gracie Challenge, it was a quest.
Gracie Challenge.
Which style of martial arts is the best?
My uncle would go to newspapers and put ads. If you think that you're a tough guy, show up at this address.
A lot of people think that the Gracies are arrogant, trying to put down the other styles. No, we're trying to find out if our stuff works.
They can't teach something if they don't prove it. Anybody from judo or from Japan or wrestling that would show up from America and Brazil.
Everybody claims that their style is the best. There's only one way to find out, and we're willing to find out. We got to show to them where we come from, how our name was built. It was built under sweat and blood.
The Gracie Challenge was very effective in Brazil. But Horian, Royce's oldest and most business-minded brother, knew that to expand jiu-jitsu, it needed to get to the United States.
To the States.
My idea in coming to the United States was to find a way so the world would become aware of the benefits of jiu-jitsu or some
Royce Gracie.
Horian come to bring
co-founder of the UFC. Did I say co-founder?
Become aware of the benefits of jiu-jitsu or some grappling skills.
Horian come to bring jiu-jitsu to the US and said, hey, Royce, I need you here.
Royce, a very sweet guy at the time, he actually came from Brazil to help me, take care of my house and the kids with the wife and that kind of stuff.
Yup, Horian brought Royce along to be his babysitter while he figured out how to get more eyeballs on jiu-jitsu, essentially rebranding the Gracie Challenge as Gracie in Action tapes.
People could bring in as much
Gracie
money as
in
they
Action.
wanted. Horian would match the money, and then they just fight.
Gracie in Action videos were an eye-opening video for a lot of martial artists. Guys who thought they were these badass fighters and they just got taken down and strangled, taken down and strangled, taken down in armbar.
Royce got quite
Oh, we gotta watch that. I wanna watch that now. Gracie in Action. I wanna see that. I wanna see that. Dang, I wanna see that. Hey, let me know in the comments if I do a video on that. Let me know in the comments right now.
a few fights under his belt for these videos. That last fight you saw will actually come into play later. But for now, Horian's tapes were working, but not to the scale he wanted. So he came up with a crazy idea.
My brother, Horian, the older one, he's the one that created the UFC.
One day, it kind of dawned on me that we should not be carrying on this kind of challenge matches in a small scale like the garage.
We finally figured out we have to put on TV. Once the American people find out, the whole world will see it.
So that's when Art and I came up with the concept of doing a tournament.
I sat down with Horian and said, okay, who in your family is going to represent Gracie Jiu-Jitsu?
Art
I
Davey.
turned to Horian and said, it's going to be Hickson, right?
Hickson was Royce's older brother, who everybody says is the greatest of all time.
Hickson would be the most obvious choice. He was the best of the family.
Royce came out in articles and said, my brother Hickson is 10 times better than me.
Always said that.
And he wasn't lying.
So there was always rumors about why you were chosen to be the representative for the first UFC. Why did they choose you?
It was going to be on national TV.
Better look. I don't know. That's crazy though. The Gracies basically started. I didn't know the Gracies started the UFC basically. I didn't know that. Shout out to the Gracies. Legends. Imagine if they wouldn't have sold. Oh, I don't know how that worked out, but I don't know how that worked or what they did. That's crazy.
The rumor that I heard was that you was the smallest one, but very technical.
Hickson was much bigger, with a physique built by the gods, let's say.
So putting a person like Hickson in there, people
They
say,
wanted that David with Goliath, so they wanted the Gracie to be the smaller guy to beat. Okay, I understand.
No wonder he won. Look at Hickson, like a tank.
Let's choose another guy who is more slender and unassuming and looks undangerous.
That's smart.
About me? Give me a chance.
Brilliantly, your brother decides, I'm going with Royce because he's the smallest.
I said, Royce is really a sweet kid. I said, but it's going to be Royce?
I think my father and Horian knew I was going to obey my father's order. Do not hurt your opponents.
Why was that so important to him?
To show the true art of Jiu-Jitsu. Don't take me wrong, it was totally different orders from my mother. My mother would jump in and goes, your father is old, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I want to see some blood, send them to the hospital.
Damn, mama gangster.
You never had a fight in the street, not a
She
mean
gangster.
person. So why do you fight?
Growing up as a Gracie, I was waiting for my chance, for my opportunity. So I jumped right in. Sure, let's do it.
Were you ever
afraid? Nope, not afraid, man. If I was, I wouldn't walk in the ring.
Royce waited his whole life for an opportunity to live up to the Gracie name. And now, that opportunity was walking to the cage for the semifinals.
This match coming up, I think is going to be the best match of the evening. Royce Gracie against Ken Shamrock.
Ken
Shamrock,
the #1 ranked shoot fighter in Japan.
They needed somebody that would challenge
Royce. He knew a lot about ground fighting, so it was really a test.
I knew that he was the guy because I kept hearing the Gracie name. He was the only guy that I knew that knew anything about submissions. I didn't think he knew anything all that well. And I felt bad for him because he looked young and he was small. And I was like, this guy's gonna get hurt. I was really cocky at the time. I really thought that I was the man.
Ain't no 175-pound karate guy gonna choke me. Those were his words.
No way he can match my strength, no way he can match my conditioning or my ability. So I went into that fight really thinking that I was gonna dominate him.
There's nobody in this event that give me any trouble. He did not think anything of Royce and anybody in a gi. He thought that was just clown stuff.
When you look across the ring, the cage, what did you see?
I saw an opponent that I was gonna beat.
Ken is strong, not much of a strategy. Likes to come after you. He's dangerous.
Don't wait for him to set it up, just shoot, go. So the bell rang and I was on top of him.
I go to take him down and he just like spins and like there was no resistance whatsoever. It was so smooth and easy, but yet I'm like in bad position. I'm like, how did this happen?
I knew he was a footlock guy. I was expecting he would shoot for the foot.
I drove my knee inside and I was gonna sit back.
He didn't expect that I knew how to defend his moves.
I'd actually pulled him up on top.
Got on top of him, couple open hands, stepped to his face.
As I started to roll around, he reached with his other hand across and it applied the choke to me. I'm running out of air going, what?
Damn!
There's the tap. There's the tap. He tapped 4 times.
I tapped, but it wasn't what I wanted to do.
As soon as I let go, he grabbed my leg, tried to continue. That's when I whisper on his ear very nicely. You know you tap. I know you tap. Everybody knows you tap. But you want to continue? Go ahead, continue.
You tapped. You tapped. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, I sure did.
I felt embarrassed to tap so fast. It was less than a minute that fight with Ken Shamrock.
Royce got him so quick, so fast, so tricky that he just could not believe it.
I just
The
tapped.
submission
Like,
god.
I'm the champion in Japan. I just tapped.
That got stuck on his throat, man, until today. That loss, I can see on his face.
I became very, very obsessed with getting that fight back. Nothing mattered to me. I made a mistake. There's no question. I really believe I can beat this guy.
The David versus Goliath nature of this fight made it an instant classic in fighting history.
That's crazy.
But there are 3 key things to keep in mind. 1, this rivalry was far from over. 2, there are a lot of controversies around this fight and the overall event that I will get to later. And 3,
Controversy.
Royce still
Oh,
had
hell,
one
here we
more
go.
fight to go.
Turn down the legends. They about to turn down the legends.
This tournament. Oh, and it's against that vicious kickboxer from the start of the
The
video.
Dutch kick.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the final match for the ultimate fighting
Y'all be
champion.
telling me,
First
Red, the more
participant
Dutch
will be
kickboxers and
Gerard
stuff.
Gordeau of the Netherlands.
Gerard Gordeau is a champion in kickboxing. Very mean fighter. Dirty fighter.
What is the secret to your ability to take on bigger foes?
I don't beat them up. I subdue them. Do it a nice
I
way.
subdue them is
There's no
crazy.
rule except 2 things. No
I subdue them is
eye
insane.
gouging and no biting. And even that didn't get you disqualified. It just cost you $1,000.
You could literally bite somebody, eye gouge him, get fined while the fight's going on.
Right, keep going.
And literally injure the guy, and he can't continue when you win.
Get in a clinch, choke him down.
There's the takedown. That's exactly what Royce wants. Gerard is in a lot of trouble.
As soon as I took him down, he took a bite of my ear. So I pull it out and I whisper on his ear, you cheating.
He gave me a look like, so what? That was his look. All right.
So what?
Here's the tap. It's over.
He started to tap. Now that I'm definitely not gonna let it go. Hold on to that one a little longer.
Royce is not letting him go. He wants to make sure the referee sees that this is over. But that is the power of jiu-jitsu in action.
I won 3 fights without really having to touch them. Didn't really beat them up, just to maneuver them from point A to point B, and that's it.
You were the first ever and the ultimate fighting champion. What's going through your mind right now?
Thanks to my brother, my family, to give me the chance, the opportunity to go through this.
Damn, the first UFC champ, Royce Gracie. What a legend. What a legend.
Royce ended up tapping Gerard Gordeau. What's your thought at that point?
I was glad to share with everyone the message that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is it. That was for me the most important thing.
On November 12, 1993, against all odds, a 26-year-old Royce Gracie became the first UFC champion,
Crazy.
revolutionizing fighting by exposing the world to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
He personified true martial arts.
It really made a lot of people realize that they had been wasting a tremendous amount of time in their life practicing that didn't really work, you know?
Greatest infomercial ever.
It was the greatest. Everybody was like, I gotta learn Jiu-Jitsu.
It opened everybody's eyes to the ground fighting.
That's why I do Jiu-Jitsu. That's why a lot of people do Jiu-Jitsu, because of your success in the UFC.
Jiu-Jitsu became the spine for all the martial arts. It's connect them all together. You gotta know some stand-up, you gotta know some takedowns, but Jiu-Jitsu connect them all.
That ripple effect of his victories in the UFC changed the whole face of martial arts all over the world.
He kick-started the entire sport of mixed martial arts.
It's true, overnight, Royce Gracie completely changed the paradigm of fighting and became an instant martial arts celebrity. I mean, people were even calling for him to have crazy super fights.
A fight that a lot of people called for was you versus Mike Tyson. Was that something that thought you ever entertained?
We actually put up a challenge to him back then. He accepted. His camp did not, because if he loses, he was in the prime of his life, and if he loses, it would have destroyed boxing.
You mean Mike Tyson?
However, all of this aside, UFC 1 didn't come without its controversies.
Royce's camp, they knew that I was a threat to them. They figured out ways to make it more difficult for me. The day before the fight, they took my shoes away, and they said it was a weapon. I'd never gone into a ring without shoes before.
One of the most documented controversies with UFC 1 had to do with last-minute restrictions to equipment like hand wraps, wrestling shoes, and more for all fighters except for Royce.
He wraps a gi around my neck and he chokes me. And as he's choking me, I'm going, he's choking me with his gi. It's a weapon. How is my shoes a weapon, but the gi isn't?
I can actually understand Ken and the other fighters' frustrations with this. And this is something that actually gets resolved in the events following. But even with these restrictions in mind, I don't think the result would have changed. However, there is a more controversial claim that you may have even considered yourself, which is, were these guys handpicked for Royce to beat them? Why weren't there better fighters for the event? Was it all rigged?
The first UFC, I think a lot of people thought was fake. That was set up for him to win. There's no way.
The answer to this is actually quite simple when you consider that very few elite martial artists answered the call for a fringe competition in Denver with no rules or commission. Again, the quality of fighters and the diversity of skill sets would be something that Royce would have to prove himself against later on. The most prevalent claim, of course, is that UFC 1 was biased in its commentary for Royce, and the entire event was just an infomercial for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which, yes, it was, but Royce still needed to win those fights. His and his family's motivations for UFC 1 doesn't change what he did on that night. If you want a deeper dive into UFC 1's controversies, check out MMA On Point's video, Was
We
UFC
definitely
1
watching
rigged?
that.
But even with all its controversy,
I'm definitely watching that because I gotta see what's really going on for real. But hey, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about it though. Let me know what y'all think. But hey,
UFC 1 was a hit, and fans wanted to see if Royce could do it all over again 4 months later, and this time in an even bigger tournament.
Welcome to the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Part 2. Once again, there are no rules.
UFC 2 was 4 fights in one night, 16-man tournament. With no gloves, no time limit, no weight division.
Unfortunately for fans, Ken Shamrock was unavailable for UFC 2, instead fighting for Pancrase in Japan.
Pancrase?
So we have to wait just a little for a
Pancrase is a go company.
Rematch with Royce.
UFC 2, first fight was Minoki Ishihara. Fought for K1. Again, another one doesn't know anything on the ground. Got in a clinch, took him down, got on top of him, he spin out, got the choke.
He tapped. Was that an arm lock? Yes. No. I think he choked him out.
Royce quickly disposed of Ichihara with a lapel choke in the opening round to move on to the quarterfinals and face Jason DeLucia.
Hi, I'm Jason DeLucia. I'm a red sash in Chinese
Kung Fu
5 animal system, and I'm here to test myself in the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
The funny thing about Jason is he actually fought Royce before. This was him getting toyed around with and ultimately submitted by Royce in a Gracie in action tape. So Jason was really hoping for some vengeance.
The first second of the fight, I shot in with a side kick, breaking my leg in the first 2 seconds of the fight. His skill really took over. All of a sudden, I'm on my back, and when he's on top of you, when you go to move him, you can't. By the time you figure it out, you've given up something to get that exit.
He'll break his arm. He's going to snap his arm. He did, too. That was quick.
I guess Jason's 5 animal system
broke his
didn't
arm.
help him out, because now Royce was on to the semifinals against this very large man.
Remco Pardoel knows a lot of grappling, and he was big. He was a big boy.
Remco Pardoel actually trained with Gerard Gordeau, the Dutch kickboxer that Royce submitted at UFC 1. So Remco was very confident that he was prepared to deal with Gracie.
Got in a clinch. As a judo player, he's very comfortable turning his back to the opponent. He rolls to his back, got the hooks, got the choke.
Looks like he's in tremendous pain. He's tapped out. He's tapped out. And Royce Gracie's in the finals one more time.
It took Royce just 91 seconds to get through Pardoel to make it to the finals. But this last match was no cupcake.
Patrick Smith against Royce Gracie. That'll be our final matchup.
Fourth fight was
that nigga was whooping on everybody.
Smith famously lost to Ken Shamrock at UFC 1. But at UFC 2, he surprisingly earned 2 guillotine finishes and 1 TKO to make it to the finals with a cumulative fight time of 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So Royce had to be very careful in this fight.
He's a stand-up fighter too. Now I already changed the strategy. Gotta watch his hands, his feet. Very mean fighter. Once I got in a clinch, took him down, he didn't know what to do.
Of course not.
Yes, he is.
Dang.
The towel is in already.
Over with.
Royce is the greatest champion on the planet right now.
On the end of the second UFC, I remember talking to
Why Royce didn't go to Pancreas though? Like why he didn't try to go to like K1 Pancreas Pride? Why he didn't go over there and fight? Or the company didn't want him to or something like that. Somebody let me know in the comment what's going on.
I was like, man, 4 fights is a lot. I'm tired tonight.
Once again, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu has won the Ultimate Fighting Championship for the 2nd time. Do you think you'll have any more difficulty with the next one?
We'll see. Can't wait. I hope they have some more tough guys, more good guys. I want them to show up.
Royce Gracie proved once again Jiu-Jitsu superiority in no-holds-barred competition, becoming a 2-time UFC tournament winner. But remember, Royce demanded tougher competition, and unfortunately for him, he got it.
Tonight, competitor is here for one reason and one reason alone, to destroy the great Royce Gracie. We are in for an exciting night tonight.
I'm Ken Shamrock. I lost in the Ultimate Fighting Championship 1. I'm here in the Ultimate Fighting Championship 3 to redeem my performance.
Okay. I heard that he entered UFC 3 to get revenge with me.
That's right, Ken Shamrock came back to the UFC specifically to get his revenge on Royce Gracie. That's the fight everyone wanted to see. But Ken was not Royce's opponent in the opening round.
UFC 3, it was Kimo.
My name is Kimo Leopoldo. My purpose here is to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the whole world.
Carrying a wooden cross into the octagon.
I was like, go ahead, carry that cross. It's heavy. It was solid wood, by the way. That was heavy.
What did Kimo weigh?
250.
Yes.
250, roided to the gills.
There was no test.
Roided to the gills.
He was technical, but he was pure strength. And I messed up on that one because I tried to match strength with him. He got me tired.
Both of us got exhausted, dead tired.
Royce got lit up.
He's 250, I'm 170. Technique prevailed on the end. He had nothing, I had technique. I had the arm lock. Caught him.
Trying to get down.
Got the armbar.
Kimo tapped out.
He got
Great fight that was.
Great fight. One of the best bouts in the history of the UFC.
And Royce is injured. He's limping.
Yes, he is.
There's a lot of worry in the Gracie corner.
Royce's fight with Kimo lasted just under 5 minutes, but it was a very hard fight against a much bigger opponent, leaving Royce in very bad shape after that fight.
Walked back to the locker room, I was exhausted, could barely walk.
While Royce rested up, Ken Shamrock was tearing up the competition, earning a TKO and a submission to earn his way to the finals. So that meant if Royce could win his next fight, he would face Ken Shamrock for the title.
The next fight happens very fast. So we had about maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes to rest, and I had to go back out. Okay, let's go, get up, it's time to go. Everything shut down in front of me. Couldn't see a thing. I can hear everybody, but just couldn't see everything black out in front of me. Joe McCarthy comes over, are you ready? Yep. I'm ready. I feel him walk away. I turn around. Guys, do something. Joe McCarthy see my back turn. He comes back. He probably saw in my eyes that something wasn't right. That's when Horton said, let's throw the towel.
The towel is in. Royce Gracie's out of the competition.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Royce came in and threw the towel, and I believe it was because he had to face me.
His injuries from the bout with Kimo has eliminated Royce from the competition.
I got injured. I got dehydration, so didn't continue the tournament.
Kimo.
Man, why you ain't drink some water? Y'all didn't have water back in the day? What's going on?
Now hops into the ring to take credit for the victory, but he lost.
Wow.
Just angered me to no end. They quit. They backed out of a fight because they ran into some adversity.
Dehydrated and badly injured from his chemo fight, Royce bowed out from the competition.
Royce, I ain't gonna lie though, I'm keeping it 100 though. Royce, you gotta fight that. Fight through that. I mean, damn, that's tough. That's tough though. That's tough. It's tough. That's tough,
losing
man.
his title as the UFC champion and leaving Ken Shamrock to go on to the finals. Only, that's not what happened. Ken Shamrock withdrew from the tournament upon hearing of Gracie's exit, essentially bowing out of what was basically a guaranteed title win for himself. So, why?
I think at that point was where I lost my will to fight anybody else. I didn't want anybody else.
It was dead serious.
Because both Royce and Ken withdrew from the tournament, Steve Jenham, an alternate in the competition, actually ended up winning UFC 3. This rivalry between Ken and Royce would unfortunately have to wait to get a resolution. But more importantly, Royce was now questioned for the first time in his fighting career, and fans didn't know if he had it in him anymore. Royce didn't know
he was 27.
But UFC 4 just 3 months later would be the most difficult and most perfect tournament to remind the fans who he is.
Royce Gracie could not continue the last fight, so he's out to take revenge for the Gracie family. This will be a very difficult night, but revenge will be the major factor.
I am Royce Gracie. I was here in the first, second, and third tournament. Now I'm back to prove that my family style is the best.
The fourth one, now I gotta come back and prove everybody that I'm back.
I'm Ron Van Cleef, the Black Dragon from New York City. I'm 51 years old, and I've been practicing martial arts for 40 years, longer than any of these participants have been alive.
Ron Van Cleef, first opponent, stand-up fighter. As soon as I took him down, got him the choke, he was out.
That's it. Bro, why's a 50-year-old nigga, bruh? Why they got a grandpa in this? But what is they doing?
Royce Gracie with a victory in 3 minutes and 49 seconds.
Let's be honest, that was always going to be an easy fight for Royce. But his next fight in the semifinals was against Keith Hackney, a hard-hitting karate guy who just won a fight by making scumbag
I want to see
Joe
Royce
Son
in
quit
Pancreas
after
of
a
Pride.
ton of completely legal nut shots. So Royce had to make sure he did after a ton of completely legal nut shots. So Royce had to make sure he didn't dick around.
Hi, my name is Keith Hackney. I'm back at UFC 4 to test my skills.
My opinion, I think this is going to be one of Royce's toughest matches right here.
I wanted to keep him on his feet, sprawl on any takedowns. I definitely wanted to go in and knock him out.
Hackney have a very heavy hand. He hits hard.
He works out of it. Lands a big right hand.
The fight was going well in the beginning. I think I took him out of his game a little bit. I drove down with a straight punch, caught him right dead center in the forehead. I think he still had the knuckle marks on him.
Another right hand landed by Hackney.
He pulled me in and held me into him until I think he recovered from the shot.
After I trapped him, he couldn't move. Then I got him the arm bar.
There it is. He's tapping out. That's
That arm bar, dangerous.
Beautiful technique by Gracie.
Gracie is into the final.
After another submission victory, Royce was now on to the finals. But man, did he have his work cut out for him.
And so in the final, it'll be Daniel Severn against Royce Gracie. Who will reign
Y'all
tonight
told
in
me to. I gotta
UFC
watch
4?
Daniel. He coming. I'm watching Daniel probably next. He coming.
The beast wrestler. Everybody was thinking I was out. I was done.
Dan Severn, that's a big guy that knows how to use his weight.
Dan the Beast Severn walked through his previous 2 opponents in less than 3 minutes combined.
I was a last-minute fill-in. I trained for all of 5 days, and I walked into the world of no holds barred, and I stood it on its ear. I've already finished off my first 2 opponents. I did not use any striking skills whatsoever. I basically took them down, made both of those opponents tap out.
Dan Severn will certainly get a dunk on this channel one day. But for now, I need you to understand how decorated his wrestling background was.
I was a 3-time All-American, won 2 state titles, my last 2 years, 100-0, and I set and held 8 national records simultaneously, which nobody has ever held before, nor has since. I have just shy of 100 state, national, international records and/or titles.
Royce was severely undersized and fighting a very talented grappler who barely broke a sweat before making it to the finals.
Now my thoughts are going to match number 3. I find out it's Royce Gracie. What does that mean to me? Someone that's got 2 arms, 2 legs, and we have unlimited time. I just kept thinking, well, him being a grappler, me being a grappler base, worst case scenario, I'm not going to get beat up too badly.
Severn diving in and grabbing the leg of Gracie, and he's got control.
Takedown happened quite quickly as match progressed. That's where the grappling struggle begins. I'm trying to do compression submissions. I'm using my chin and I'm pushing it right down into his face. I'm thinking, that's gotta hurt. He's not showing any emotion, stuff like that, not tapping out.
Gracie maneuvering, whatever he can do to stay in it.
I think I'm gonna have to hit this guy. And that's why I tell people that I really struggled with my conscience.
Severn's pounding away with the combination.
You see, I'm gonna have to hit this guy.
Finish the fight, and I saw that on his eyes.
Couple of punches there by Severn.
Those are good shots, and they're hitting cleanly into the ribs.
There's no way he was gonna finish me, and he knew that. His face told me that.
Does Gracie have what it takes to mount any type of quick reversal?
I don't think it's going to happen.
I can read exactly what's going through his mind as he's looking over at his dad, Helio, just outside the cage. He's like, Dad, I'm hanging in there. But if you were to throw that towel in, I wouldn't hold it against you.
You've got to believe Royce is starting to get tired. He's carrying the weight. I have to feel that Severn is going to outlast Gracie.
That thought never crossed my mind. Never.
Just don't feel Gracie is going to have the kind of ability to escape a wrestler when he's in this dominant a position.
How long can Gracie endure?
Helio, he's got the towel in his hands. He brings the towel on up, crosses his arms, and holds right this, and just shakes his head like, no. And I'm thinking in my mind, you'd let me kill your kid out here right now for Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, wouldn't you?
He's getting frustrated. Who's gonna make the first mistake? If I'm gonna expose myself and he's gonna hit me, or if he's gonna expose himself and get choked. Let's see who have more heart.
I should have turned that man into a pile of kindling wood. Because of what I know now, I wish I would have known then.
He finally made a mistake.
No, I had not seen triangle choke before, so it's all new ground.
That's it.
On some Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen type activity. That's crazy.
Hung in there to the very end. It didn't look like he could ever...
When we stood up, he embraced me and he said, you're the toughest man I ever went against.
Royce Gracie submitting Dan Severn in what was the longest UFC fight ever at that time, 15 minutes, was incredible. The fight actually went on so long that the last few minutes got cut off from the pay-per-view, so fans actually didn't get to see that ending until the VHS tapes came out much later. But that's besides the point. Royce was once again UFC champion, becoming the first and only 3-time tournament winner. But sadly for us,
how mad was y'all when they cut off? I know some of y'all was watching it in pay-per-view. How mad was y'all when that cut off? Cause I ain't gonna lie, imagine that happening today. He was going that money back.
Last tournament, because 4 months from now, he would compete for the UFC's inaugural super fight title against none other than his rival Ken Shamrock. But before we get to the super fight, if you got this far, please hit subscribe. It would mean a lot.
Shout out to you. Shout out to that boy.
Hit the like button and share this video with someone who would enjoy it. Oh, and don't forget.
A stand-alone event and a fight with Ken Shamrock.
Yes. Now, Royce couldn't back out of it because if he backed out, it'd be like quitting in that one, but he wouldn't have an excuse of why he quit.
Here comes Ken Shamrock into the octagon. He's met his opponent before in the octagon, and tonight, he's out to settle the score.
I'm Ken Shamrock. I've heard all the hype. I've heard all the press. I've seen all the talk. I waited over 1.5 years for this. Now it's time for the fight, and I'm not gonna lose.
Day before the fight, they put in a time limit. Day before. The first time ever in a UFC fight.
I'm Royce Gracie. Tonight, I'm only gonna fight one man. There won't be any problem. I beat him before, and I'll beat him again.
So 3 bits of context here. First, the UFC added the time limit because they didn't want to go over broadcast time like they did in UFC 4. However, there were no judges, so either someone got finished or it was a draw.
What?
And thirdly, the super fight title they were competing for effectively became the UFC Heavyweight Championship a couple of years later. So this was a fight for the baddest man on the planet.
My objective in that fight was to literally just beat him down to where his legs would drop, and when his legs drop, I would beat him some more, and then I would submit him.
Shamrock gets to the mounted position.
We might have another long bout right here.
I'm literally gonna wear him down.
How much time was it?
I want to beat him into oblivion, and then I want to submit him.
Seems as though Shamrock is not going to put himself at risk getting too aggressive.
All he did was lay on top of me and hold me down. Even his father was on the corner, was yelling at him, do something, Ken, come on.
And Bob Shamrock is shouting, get up and punch him. Get up and do something.
And I just wonder in the back of Shamrock's mind if a draw with Gracie in effect is a victory.
A draw for him, he played for the draw. He didn't play to win.
I think probably so, because he isn't making any dangerous moves. He's taking no chances.
If I had an hour to do that, he wouldn't have been walking out of that ring. He'd have been a rag doll. But unfortunately, they were in control of the rules, they were in control of the time, and it worked in their favor. So I worked him, and the fight was going exactly the way I wanted it to. The time ran out.
30 minutes.
Hold on. So if the time ran out, a draw? What about the judges? I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of, the Gracie family was kind of like, we ain't, they couldn't find 3 judges? I mean, if he held you down the whole fight, that's an L. I'm sorry, Gracie, that's an L.
It's an unofficial time. No one has stopped the
Gracie screams outside the ring, 3 more minutes, 3 more minutes. And I'm like, yes, 3 more minutes.
The longest fight in UFC history, 36 minutes.
I believe they adapted the rules here to try to give the fighters a chance to finish it off.
Well, in that 3 minutes is when I was able to land a punch and blow up Royce's eye.
Gracie looks like he's got a mouse underneath his right eye.
But Shamrock is definitely the aggressor now.
So I took him down, I blasted him, I took him down again, I started beating him down, and this is where things started really going my way, and time ran out again.
And that is the end of the super fight. Wow. Royce Gracie and Ken Shamrock fight to a draw.
He was done. He could hardly get up off the mat.
And the crowd does not like it at all. I can't believe there's boos. I can't believe it.
That was a big victory for him.
They needed
He didn't
judges.
care about winning. He just did not want to lose to me.
He won though. What do you mean he didn't care about winning? How does that? He didn't care. He won.
Parading the ring, raising his arms in victory.
Well, there was no victory.
There's no question, no doubt. Anybody that watches it knows that I won the fight. How about the recognition that he got outworked? How about the recognition that, yeah, he got the worst end of it, he got his ass kicked?
I mean, I understand Gracie family and the commentators would be like, he holding his hands up, but it was a draw. That's because the competition was made to be like that. Like, it's supposed to be judged. Why wasn't there judges? This is funny.
And he won't give credit to that. He says, I laid on him, and I'm like, dude, you were carried out of the ring.
I don't give a flying rat's ass about your opinion of who won, who lost the fight. I know it was a draw. You couldn't do shit to me, and I took your last shot. So if you fight somebody half of your size and you don't beat that person up, would you be happy with that?
He did beat you up though.
The draw for the heavyweight became a victory.
Look, if you've never seen this fight, you're...
Look, but I'm not trying to say nothing about Gracie's. I love he a legend. But if your family set it up to where it's a draw at the end instead of getting judges, y'all set it up that way. Doesn't mean you won the fight. Well, the fight was a draw, you lost.
Very lucky.
Sorry to
Pretty much
tell you,
nothing
bud.
happened outside of that one punch that Shamrock landed, so it went to a draw, which isn't a very satisfying conclusion to this rivalry, so it's not over just yet. But that will have to wait, because after this fight, Royce retired from no-holds-barred fighting to start a family.
Royce and I have 4 children. We have 3 boys and a little girl. She's probably going to be the toughest of all of them.
Royce spent the next 5 years enjoying time with his family and doing what he loves, teaching jiu-jitsu to strangers and his children alike.
For my children, the expectation is that they're going to learn jiu-jitsu. What they do with jiu-jitsu is really up to them.
However, after 5 years, Royce got the itch to fight once again, but this time in a slightly different environment.
Are you going to get back into the UFC at any point? Is your career there finished?
Right now I've been fighting in Japan for a show called Pride.
Royce returned to fighting in the Pride Fighting Championships, entering in their year 2000 Grand Prix.
Last fight I had, the guy did not touch me one time. 20-minute fight, he did not hit me one time.
Royce has won a unanimous decision.
What happened?
I'm not going to bore you with this opening round fight because Royce's opponent did nothing and Royce moved on to the quarterfinals.
What you mean?
But this is where things got interesting.
Who's Sakuraba?
Sakuraba was probably one of the best fighters that Japan produced.
Y'all told me to react to Sakuraba too. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all been telling me to do it. He coming. He coming. I got y'all. I got
So
y'all.
special.
Oh my God.
This generation that didn't get to watch him fight has to go back and look at those fights.
Oh, they have to go back. It has been said.
I'm
that it was
definitely
kind of
gonna
a
go
thing that
back.
Your family was like, all right, we have to
Watching that.
send you in there to go kind of get rid of him.
It would be a crime if Sakuraba doesn't get a doc on this channel at some point. He is as legendary as it gets in MMA. Now you might ask yourself, why would Royce be sent to get rid of him? Well, it has to do with a bit of a reputation that Sakuraba developed.
He beat my brother, my cousin, Henzo, yes.
Remember he broke Henzo's arm?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Kimura.
Yep.
I love the Gracies, and he was beating the Gracies, and we couldn't help but laugh.
He was, damn. He was doing the Gracie's dad, the Gracie killer.
Like him.
You call him the Gracie Hunter, remember?
Sakuraba
The Gracie
is now
Hunter
known as
is
the
crazy.
Gracie Hunter for his outstanding ability to finish talented members of the Gracie family. So for Royce, there was a lot at stake.
Sakuraba, talk about that competition with him.
Was at the height of Sakuraba's career, though, his prime?
He was in the highest. He's a very good fighter, very good, smart, knows how to use strategy. He was the top. He was the top for a while. He's a tough opponent for anybody.
I would consider myself proud to fight for 90 minutes. It was a long fight. I wish the fight went much earlier. We would have finished much earlier.
He kicked around the shin, cracked my shin, and tear the ligaments. I told my brother, my father, I can get up, but I can't walk. You tell me what to do.
That's when we threw the towel.
He's throwing in the towel. Kazushi Sakuraba has finished the fight.
Oh, the Gracie Hunter. Oh, we gotta do a reaction on him. Oh, that's crazy. But he didn't really, I mean, he broke his foot, so he really, I mean, but it's a kick, but I don't know how that really works.
He made him quit.
This was a grueling 90-minute fight, still to this day, the longest MMA fight ever, ultimately resulting in a TKO loss for Royce, the first official loss of his career. But Royce didn't let that deter him from continuing his fighting career. In 2003, Royce fought to a draw against Hidehiko Yoshida. 1 year later, he fought in, let's be honest, a freak show matchup against a 6'8", 500-pound Akibono and quickly submitted him with an omoplata.
Did he break it?
And 1 year after that, he fought to one more draw against Hideo Tokoro to bring his record to 13-1-3. Royce was fighting less frequently, less viciously, and was now pushing 40 years old. It kind of felt like the sport had moved on from that 26-year-old at UFC 1. But the UFC really wanted to push that theory to its limit.
We have come up with another mega fight. I've never fought a legend, and Royce Gracie's a legend.
They approached me, hey, that
Man,
was
Hughes?
the biggest fight ever. Old school, new
I gotta
school,
watch my, I ain't watched my Hughes yet. I gotta watch my Hughes
Let's
too.
do it. I got my fighter, man. That's what I do for a living.
Royce Gracie was set to fight at UFC 60 against Matt Hughes, the reigning welterweight champion, and yes, the best UFC champion up to that point. And Matt had a lot to say about the matchup.
He's somewhat old school to where I don't think he's going to pull a submission off. I don't think he's going to come close.
What are your thoughts on Matt's thoughts that you're behind
Well,
the
you
times
talking
and
crazy.
he's going to beat you in this fight? There's only one way to find out.
Give me time and I'll submit you.
Royce is going to have a rude awakening. He's either going to need to go to school or retire.
Do you predict the tap out? Anything can happen. I won't give any prediction of how I'm going to beat him. Whenever he makes a mistake, I'll be right there to capitalize.
You come back and the game's completely different. You're not wearing your gi, you gotta wear your gloves, you have to wear shorts. You know, there's all these point rules. Why would you even come back and put yourself
he
in
do
that
look
situation?
kind of different without the gi.
Saying that he's gonna knock me out, that he's gonna ground and pound. I wanna see that.
I got nothing else to do. Might as well let's go pick a fight.
He used his height very well on his feet, throwing strikes, keeping me away from him. But as soon as I closed distance and grabbed a hold of him, it was my game. He didn't have enough strength or athleticism to keep up with me.
I wasn't there. I stayed back in the locker room. Everybody was in the stadium besides me.
He beat me exactly the way we thought that he was going to beat me. I'm the one who didn't show up.
This fight is hard to watch. It was pretty clear that Royce's approach to fighting wouldn't really work against a modern era mixed martial artist.
Damn!
But even in taking a beating like that, Royce was not deterred.
Royce, you must be disappointed right now. Do you think that you're going to continue fighting, or do you think this is it for you?
He was 40? Wait, he like 40?
Yep, Royce Gracie wanted to get back in there one more time, but not against just anyone. He wanted his revenge on Kazushi Sakuraba, the only man other than Matt Hughes to defeat him. And this time around, Royce was far more controlling and far more aggressive in the grappling exchanges. So after 3 rounds, Royce won the decision victory.
Royce Gracie!
However, this redemption wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, as Royce tested positive for a ridiculous amount of anabolic steroids after this match. Confusingly, this victory over Sakuraba was not overturned to a no contest, and Gracie tried to dispute the allegations by pointing to his weight.
Look at my first UFC, 178. Look at my last fight, 180. I gained 2 pounds for accusing me of using drugs. Never gained a pound in my life. It's ridiculous.
Did they test him? Or how did they know he did drugs? Like,
I'm not a steroid expert, but I'm pretty sure that's not how steroids work. And even so, that's not true. Royce went from 175 pounds in the Matt Hughes fight to 188 pounds in the Sakuraba rematch. So overall, this was a pretty unfortunate stain on Royce Gracie's career. And with that, Royce hung up the gloves. Royce went back to spending time with his family and traveling the world, spreading the benefits of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Shout out to Royce,
Every time
man.
he got pulled aside for an interview, he got the same question.
Your last fight was a couple years ago. You haven't fought since then, but you say you're not retired. Are you going to fight again?
I know there's a lot of talk about you coming back and fighting. What's the deal on that?
I don't know. Let's just say this. If they did offer you a fight again, are you interested in fighting? Or are those days over?
I'm not retired. It's just lost the itch for a while. I'm interested. I got one more.
You got one more?
I got one more.
For several years, Royce Gracie teased his return to MMA. And for several years, nothing happened. Until the right opponent came along to settle the beef.
It's a fight that's been wanted to have happen for, 23 years. For whatever reasons, it never happened.
I think Royce has picked a horrible time for him to come back out of retirement, to step in the ring and fight me at this particular time. And I think come February 19th, the story will be told, the truth will be told.
The first time I beat him less than a minute. Second time, he just hold me down for 36 minutes.
Second time you lost,
for a very
nigga.
long time. It's one that's bothered me for a long time. Always getting disrespected.
Should have gotten the credit I should have gotten and didn't get it. I will have that credit now. And that to me it means a lot to me because I want to be the best. I want people to remember my legacy and as one of the best.
He's the one that been losing sleep for the last 20 years. He can't understand how can somebody with all that physique and all that strength lose to somebody like me.
I'm not walking out of the ring without a win. It's not going to happen.
Let's be honest.
I understand both their positions because Royce is standing on that. He muscle milk. He think he big, but I think Ken just want to beat him because everybody love him. I think Ken want that spotlight.
There's two legends fighting way
I don't
past
know.
their
Y'all
prime
tell me in the
a
comments.
promotion nobody really cares about, but at least we'd get a satisfying conclusion to both their careers and this rivalry. At least that's what we'd hoped.
In some ways, the best ending possible, and in some ways, the worst.
After about 2 minutes into the fight, he realized that I wasn't going to take him down and that I was going to force him to stand up. Once he figured that out, I hit him with a knee. He grabs my head, looks down at my groin.
A low blow was landed.
There's no way, unless you're intending to throw a low blow, that you're going to throw something like that. And then after you land it, take credit for a win.
No, I'm very happy. That was my first knockout.
In my opinion, the only reason why he hit me low was because he knew he didn't want to be in the ring with me.
I was telling Ken, we come from an era where there was no time limit, no weight division, no gloves, no rules. Groin shot was allowed, but he did not catch his groin.
In my opinion, it's not over. I mean, I wouldn't want to win that way.
It seems that Royce's rivalry with Ken would never fully be resolved, and that sucks. But rather than dwell on what happened in 2016, I'd rather remember Royce, his contributions to fighting, and his rivalry with Ken Shamrock for how it was recognized on the 10-year anniversary of UFC 1 in 2003.
We're going to induct our first 2 UFC Hall of Fame members.
Well, we're looking for the first ever inductee into the UFC Hall of Fame, Royce Gracie. It's a no-brainer.
That's a special feeling.
Yeah, that's
right
hard.
there. I'm honored to be there.
I mean, you know, the first 4. Nobody can ever take that away from him. What an accomplishment.
He fought 4 guys in one night, outweighed double sometimes, and prevailed.
Coming to the octagon, Ken Shamrock!
Damn, on the same night?
Royce for what he was doing and what he did. The legacy that me and Royce Gracie have left behind is a legacy of success.
The sport doesn't exist.
See, I think I reacted to Frank Shamrock. I ain't do Ken Shamrock yet.
Without Ken
I did it,
Shamrock
brother.
and Royce Gracie.
Tonight we'll be honoring 2 of the sport's greatest legends by inducting them into the UFC Hall of Fame.
We all owe a great deal of gratitude to the Gracies, to Royce Gracie in particular.
He kick-started the entire sport of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I created explosion 20 years ago.
He will always go down in history as one of the most important figures ever in martial arts, if not the most important figure.
We honor and welcome an inaugural inductee to the UFC Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Royce Gracie.
Any regrets as you look back?
Love it, every bit of it, even the loss.
When you look back on this now, what does it feel like?
How does it feel now? How does it feel now? I mean, you're the
Badge
guy
ruined.
responsible to make mixed martial arts known, to really put it on the map.
You were the original. You're #1. There's only going to be one original Ultimate Fighter. That's you.
I don't look at that way. I don't look at that way. I look as a yeah, I was part of it.
That's hard. I ain't gonna lie. That's hard. That's hard. You go. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You go. I don't know. Some of this stuff is kind of controversial because you just never really know. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments, bro. He's a great legend, though. We still gonna do the other video about UFC 1 and everything around it and stuff like that. But let me know in the comments how y'all feel about it, bro. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me see you in that video, man. No cap.